Hey, what up, man? So we've had the sole survivor himself, Mr. Akon, come out and say the most triggering things you could ever say to American black people, and that's y'all Negroes need to get over slavery. When I don't see what the issue and the problem is because it's blatantly obvious. Uh, Pretty much every continent has witnessed slavery, man. It's with the exception of Antarctica. Okay, almost all the people on this planet at some point in time have been enslaved. And for whatever reason, black people are the only people that have this connection to. And the thing about it is, I understand why. It's because we follow the slavery narrative and we're told that the beginning, ending, and essence of American black people is slavery, which to a degree it is. But if you were to do the research and find out that not every black person was a descendant of a slave, that's why I don't get down with the ADOS thing. Okay, there are several brothers that have done, phenomenal research proving the Africans that arrived here well before, this place was colonized by Europeans were even thought about. Okay, we have Ivan Van Sertima, and then you have the brother here recently, Dan Calloway, that give credence to the Native American heritage that we have and the intermingling of those, due to again the the purposeful travel from Africa to the Americas. Okay, so if you aren't aware of those guys, by all means, look them up. Ivan Van Sertima was a great mind that was destroyed. Man, his total reputation, image, and everything was destroyed because they made him, this black identity extremist, to discredit him of really and truly giving the black people a peek into who we really were. And the brother here, Dane Calloway here recently, I've heard, him have his number of detractors. But by all means, man, never take the word of somebody. Just go look it up for yourself. Look it up. It's very, very easy and simple to do. But anyway, Akon, unfortunately, doing doing an interview with the infamous Vlad TV, says black people need to get over slavery because he talked about the Africans in Senegal, and how they don't even think about slavery, and you shouldn't. Again, man, I say this to you all the time. That's why I said this, man. I got to think. I got to double down and can get back to saying this. Hey, man, build a time machine. Okay, the only way you're gonna get rid of slavery and undo it or remove it from the history books or reality of happening is to build that time machine, go back and prevent the first fucking slaves to ever be taken by the Europeans, man. The first slaves that lost in the war and the Africans agreed to give them over to the Europeans for whatever it was, regardless of their understanding or not of what slavery was. Again, man, it's so many things wrapped up into this, but the ultimate thing is this: the um, the original slaves were the Slavs. Okay, that's why we have the word slave from the Slavic people. People from Europe. I think everything from like would be what Western European and Russia and things like that, right? Slavic people, and because you had so many medieval wars and things going on, what did you do? It was just practice. Slavery is pretty much a prisoner of war. You know what I'm saying? I guess more archaic term for a prisoner of war. You go to battle with somebody, you lose that battle. The men, if they weren't killed, they were put into servitude, forced servitude, and you were pretty much at the mercy of the people who won the war. American black people, I mean, shout out to my man Zero, man. We lost the war, okay? One that started over way in Africa, for whatever tribe you may have been with that were feuding. And for whatever reason, again, they traded them off to Europeans. And then later on, the Europeans said, hey, this thing is making much more money, so much money. Hey, we just going to come back and even take the people that sold the people and get them too, the ones that we could. So by all means, man, when you have a man like Akon who was accomplished, successful, and all these other things, and actually suffered from a place, came from a place that suffered slavery. Okay, suffered slavery. There's still slavery going on today in Africa, people, and in the Middle East and things like this. Okay, there's still like real live slavery going on that black people complain about and you haven't seen in over 200 plus years. Okay, was slavery wrong? Of course it was, but there's a lot of things in the world that are wrong. Okay, and theoretically, I mean, will we be the people that we are today without slavery? Well, of course not, because slavery never happened. You'd never be here to be in the states in the first place, right? So, is it a necessary evil? Of course. I mean, again, we're not the only people to experience it. All right. There have been people that have literally been races of people who are gone, terminated, genocide, literal genocide, not a couple of few left or a couple of thousand or a couple of hundred. No, literally they are gone. The entire race of people have been eradicated from the planet. So by all means, man, the black people are nowhere near close to that, and will never ever happen. Because again, we are a branch off from the original Negroid race, people from Africa, of course. When Akon again dares to, and it's shameful that you have to say dares to say it, and he gets this backlash from black people. Again, this is a man that has taken his wealth and reinvested it into the continent, into Africa and countries and things back there. When what are we doing? What is our complaining about slavery done for the American black person? Nothing at all. All it does is leave you subservient and blame the white man for this, for that, for them, for him, for her, for she, he, everything, man. And that is not how you gain success. That's not how you gain power. Power comes from, again, knowing that the circumstances are what they are, especially when they were past circumstances, man. Again, most of us have never experienced real racism. Okay, we haven't experienced real racism, man. Real racism was, hey, the white man come in the room, you gotta bow your head down, you can't look him in his eye. Okay, you and him are walking on the sidewalk with his family, you gotta step down in the street in the mud. Okay, you know what I mean? You get out that man's way. That's true. That's true racism, man. That's true oppression. All right. And because we got all these little things going on here, recently, and we want to, always lean back on that, and yet again, we won't hold each other accountable. Again, Akon is a successful African, okay? A successful African who went from his country, came over here, became highly successful, and took his resources what? Back home to improve it. What are black people doing? Again, you guys are complaining about the place where a man who again talked about the slavery in Senegal, came to America, used his talents to be successful. Okay, so he dealt with literally two things of slavery: the slavery of his country. Then he came over here as an African man, right? And he had to deal with the oppression and all this other stuff and white supremacy that y'all always claim about right here. And he was still successful in spite of. So if this man can conquer two versions of instances of slavery, why can't we conquer the one? Again, man, the moment black people, especially the men, stop worrying about a long lost war that was lost a long time ago, but yet still you were able to benefit from it, all right? You were able to turn things around and be acknowledged as some of the most spectacular human beings on the planet. Okay, we talk about how we the most athletic and we the most we the most copied and all these things. Well, if we're that, man, how the hell are we oppressed and enslaved? Again, and if we were to come together and finally think as black men, pool resources, trusting each other and care about each other's lives and not shoot each other down in the street like dogs. I mean, bicker and argue over females and simple things like that. Um, don't you think we'd be a whole lot better off? I keep telling y'all, man, the quote unquote white man or whoever the hell, the big bad white man, ain't worried about you, man. They're not thinking about you like that because they got y'all right where you want you. They know anytime they hear you scream about white supremacy in 2020, man, hey, we ain't got to do nothing new. They still stuck on that shit. They focus on some shit that they ain't never experienced themselves, and shit they heard stories about. They may not even have any connection to. You got people around here that have absolutely no slave lineage, man, and they think just because they got black skin, they are descendants of slaves. You hear me? That's funny. That's hilarious, and it's sad all at the same time. So all in all, man, Akon was right. He definitely agrees with us here. Thinking black man in the black manosphere. And we got to get past this, people. Holding on to old shit, man, doesn't benefit anybody. All right? You're going to hold that grudge for forever. All that does is keep power over you from the other person. All right? What is complaining about slavery gotten us? Nothing. Nothing. We've not benefited one way, shape, form, or fashion, man, from constantly complaining about slavery and what they did to us and this and that. And it's like, again, was it tragic? Was it bad? Was it wrong? Yes, but the world will never be a perfect place, people. And we're not the only people who have suffered and survived. Most important word, survived slavery. Okay? Survived slavery. You're here now, man. You're no longer a slave. So stop talking about it. Stop focusing on it. Dare to be great. Dare to be successful. And overthrow your oppressors, quote unquote. You know what I mean? As a man, that's what I thought he's supposed to do. If somebody's telling me they're better than me, they're oppressing me, they have control over me, it's my job to break them. Not just, it's my job to break them to show that, nah, man, you don't control me. But again, I'm a competitor, man. I look at this thing like, I don't care what the odds are, I'm going to make it. And, a lot of men ain't built like that. They think like they mamas. But all in all, man, that's that on that one. I'll catch you on the next one.